Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. Today's video is being shot at night, so the lighting is a little weird, so apologies for that. I've done my best. I've got one of those lighting ring things up, so there you go. It's been a little while, hasn't it? I've always said with my channel, I am doing this because I like to help people. I like to have, chats with people, and I like to see what they're doing on their own journey. And that can be talking to different trans people, that can be talking to allies and supporters and family members of trans people or non-binary people as well. And I've never really wanted to do this because I want the channel to be huge. It's not my bag. I always say on the end of my videos, if I get a couple of subscribers, I get a little kick out of seeing the numbers go up, and that's great. It's lovely, but it's not my job. My job is doing trans awareness training for companies, which I've been very fortunate to do for the last year now. I've done it for companies in Paris. It's been to America and to the States before, right the way through to University of Limerick is another one that I appeared at, and various different councils and colleges all throughout the UK. And that's my job. YouTube's not my job. I do this because it's just something I enjoy doing. And, one of the things that I have found is that looking back on the videos that I've produced so far, a lot of the video content seems to be in the past. And I'm not really a in the past kind of person. I don't tend to spend a lot of time there. I'm very much in the present normally. There are things that do keep me sucked into the past. If I think about things like the miscarriage or when my wife was poorly and sad things, they tend to pull me back into the past a fair bit. And it's not somewhere I like spending a lot of time, because although it's nice to reflect, it's not somewhere that's really beneficial to be for me a lot of the time. And I realize a lot of my content has been like, how I told my wife and how I told work and how I did this and how I did that. And that's all great. And I think where I'm getting at with this is that I don't want to be churning out content for the sake of it. I don't want to get cheap likes. I don't want to get, sucked into, oh, this person said this today and it was really nasty, and this person said the other on the internet, and oh, what an idiot they are, and they are idiots, but there's plenty of other channels that do it far better than I at highlighting that kind of stuff. And I fear if I carried on going down that route, then ultimately the channel was going to become something that I never wanted it to become, is my main thing. So I've had some thoughts, and I spoke to my wife about it, and yeah, I'm going to take the channel in a different direction. So no, I'm not winding the channel up, so don't worry, it's not going anywhere. But what I am going to start doing is focusing more on the present and talking about, well, as much in the present as I can be, talking about, how my day has gone and how things have gone over the last couple of weeks, so a lot closer to the here and now than maybe several years ago. As much as I do like looking back on that time, I've done it. I've done the videos now. You can go ahead and watch them. They're all there. I just feel like I'll be repeating a lot of stuff, and I don't want to do that. Me and my wife watch a lot of YouTube stuff, and like you see it in the gaming kind of side of YouTube a fair bit, where it's like on City Skylines, if anyone's ever played that one before, where it's like, oh, I'm going to fix this city, and now I'm going to fix the traffic, and now I'm going to put a park in, and I've done it like 300 times before, mate. Give it a rest. Maybe play a different game. And I think I've got to that point. There's enough going on in my personal life to keep you guys entertained for hours. You can celebrate my misery. It's not miserable. It's not miserable. I have a great life. So yeah, I think what we're going to do from now is do more videos where we're talking about the here and now. And there's plenty of stuff going on in the here and now. That's one of the things that's always kind of bugged me about, and my dysphoria kind of, or maybe it's my inner critic kind of like clicks onto this, and it's like, oh, you give the impression on your videos that you're 100% transitioned and everything's perfect and everything's great. And I'm not by any stretch. I'm not, I'm still a bloody nervous wreck sometimes when I go out, and sometimes I just catch a look of myself in the mirror and think, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? People are going to laugh at you. They're going to be horrible. They're going to hear your voice and they're going to be mean and they're going to do this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, horrible, crawling in your skin kind of blah. So yeah, I do still have days like that. And I want this channel to be real. I call my business real lived experience. And the last thing I want is to give an impression that everything's absolutely hunky-dory and that I don't struggle still and I don't have days where I think, the hell are you doing? Why are you putting yourself through this? Why do you put yourself in a position where people will be mean to you on the internet, or you have to worry about meeting someone and if they hear your voice, which isn't 100% in the female range, then it's going to give you, it's going to give them kind of ammunition to be mean to you, or they're going to be awkward about it. And I have days like that, and it sucks. It really does suck. And I wish I didn't have days like that. And sometimes it's not the full day. Sometimes it's just a little bit of time in the day. I'm lucky because my part-time job that I've got other than doing business is working in mental health now, which again is something that I've never really picked up on too much when I've been doing these videos, is how much I love working in mental health. Hi, sorry about that. That was my computer throwing a bit of a wobbler, so hence why the screen might have jumped a little bit there for you. I'll try and edit it as best I can. But yeah, as I was saying, so we do a lot of intervention work where I work. It's working with people that are in severe mental health crisis, and it's giving them practical tools and advice and information and signposting on how to just better manage things, and look at things from a different viewpoint perhaps, and practical coping skills. And I really like that. I love it. And one of the wonderful things from my point of view anyway, I suppose the reason why the place is quite dear to my heart is if you watch my earlier videos when I talk about how my wife was suffering, quite badly with her mental health, the help that we got from Turning Point was brilliant. It was really, really good. They were the first ones that I actually genuinely felt like they gave us stuff about what was going on and wanted to help. And they were just so nice about everything. And they really, really helped, not just my wife, but really helped me as well, because I didn't know about mental health suffering. I'd experienced it, from a carer's point of view, but I never took the time to learn what the different things meant, and how you should help someone when they're literally on the floor, because life's gotten too much for them and that kind of thing. I just didn't know anything about mental health. I'd never took the time to learn. I'd never had any reason to really. So yeah, in a way, and without it's probably going to upset some people, so I apologize. I'm not really into the whole new agey kind of hippie kind of, oh, we're all one with the universe. It's not really my bag, but what I do feel about this job is this is my way of working there, is giving back to the universe, because we found this place that was able to help us through a series of events that took place that led us to this place. That makes sense. I probably said the word place quite a lot there. And they really helped. And it's nice to be able to give back. And yeah, I just really like it. And long may it continue, because I love it there, and I don't want to have to leave ever. Just really like it. So that's what's been going on. So I'd like to be able to do more content on the mental health side of things as well, because I know a lot of people sharp intake of breath when I say this. There are mental health things connected with being trans. Being trans is not a mental health issue, but there are things that can come up when you're transitioning that can make you depressed, that can make you suicidal, that can make you socially anxious, that can make you not want to leave the house. And it can really trigger a lot of different mental health issues. And I want to be able to talk about that a little bit more. And I think that is why it's important now for the channel, for me, and me wanting to carry on doing this, to be more in the present. Because I love my past and I'm very proud of my past. And I'm very, very grateful for all of the things that have been given to me and for all of the things that I've been able to do. And I am so privileged for a lot of the stuff that I've got in life. But there comes a time when you just have to think to yourself, you know what, I can't live in the past forever. I can't just keep talking about how I came out at work or how I did this and how I did the other, because it's going to get dull. It's going to get dull because I'm going to start repeating myself, and that's not something I want to be doing. It's not the kind of content I want to watch. That's for sure. I want to, you know, talk about what's going on in life now. I want to talk about my holiday that I went on with my wife. I want to talk about, work. I want to talk about, the little pressures and little trials and tribulations that go on in the everyday life, because that, like I said, there comes a time when you do just have to start being in the present. It's go figure. It's where we are now, and it's you can't change the past and you can't predict the future. The only thing you can truly influence, in my opinion, is the present. And that's where I want to be. And if that costs me a few subscribers, then so be it. Like I said, never wanted it to be the biggest channel in the world. Just wanted to help a few people out. Give people a giggle and give people some reassurance, and that's it. That's all I really want. It's all I've ever really wanted for the channel, to be fair. Um, it even makes me cringe when I say like, comment, and subscribe. It really does. I'm like the worst freaking YouTuber ever. you know, Socially anxious YouTuber just should not be. So yeah, I want to talk about that more. And like I say, I think one of the other things that's always bothered me about doing the channel, and this is where I guess dysphoria and my inner critic, which you'll hear me talk about, kind of jumps into things, is like, I don't want to give this impression that everything's absolutely rainbow and sunshine. And don't get me wrong, this isn't one of them videos where I'm going to start playing the bleeding harp and saying, oh God, my life's so bad, and oh, Brittany. And it's not that video, don't worry. That's next week. So you've got that to look forward to. But no, I, I I worry that because I am the kind of person that doesn't like to show weakness and doesn't like people to think less of me in the real world, I'm talking here, when I'm out with my family and friends, and dysphoria really does play a big part in my life. I don't particularly like dwelling on the things that I struggle with, but for the longest time I avoid going home. I avoid going to see my family up in Newcastle and Gateshead, and I worry because I know that I might take it out on them. I might be a dick towards them, and I don't want to be that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that kind of person towards my family, and friends. But it's how it gets you. It's like you can't look in the mirror without thinking, oh gosh, you don't look right, or your makeup's awful, or people are going to look at you and think, oh, that's a man, that's a man. And it gets you. It gets you. And it's not like that all the time. It's not like that all the time. It flares up, and the times have been getting less and less. But I think, without going off on a tangent, like I say, the thing that's been bothering me is that I don't want to give this image that everything's absolutely flipping perfect and I've 100% transitioned and everything's great. And it's not like that. Still freak out at the tiniest little thing. There's a thing about being able to give good advice. It's another thing about being able to follow it. Someone I don't know, something trivial, like someone looks at you the wrong way when you're walking through Tesco or something, and you think, oh no, they're judging me, they're thinking that I'm trans, they must have heard me talking, so all of a sudden I lose my voice. It's horrible. I think the voice thing's one of the worst things about dysphoria. I guess that's why a lot of trans people can probably associate themselves with the Little Mermaid. It's not because we're all trying to jump into bed with some prince that we've gave up our voice for to have legs. I mean that's a whatever you want to do. But what I mean is that you do kind of lose your voice a little bit. I've been trying to work on my voice and try and get into the female range, and I can for a little bit for about 30 seconds. So it's great because I can have very, very short interactions with people outside. But realistically, I can't keep it going for very long, and that does come with practice. There's no magic pill to help change your voice, and it's little things like that that I want to start talking about. The everyday stuff, because it's terrifying when you first come out. It's terrifying. It really is. Unless you've got, you know, excuse me, part of your brain that just isn't afraid. That's probably worrying in itself, really. You might want to get that bit checked out. But at the same token, it's really exciting. And a lot of the stories around transitioning will come from the start of your transition. And that's really cool in my eyes. You've got the how I told my parents, if you're lucky enough to still have your parents around. You've got the how I told my wife or my husband or non-binary partner or anything like that. And there's all these different stories that'll come. And like I keep saying, eventually you've got to move on from that. Can't just be a horse that you keep beating. Can't be. And I don't want that. So like I say, I want to start talking about the everyday stuff, the little wins. So where to start? What have I been doing recently? Well, one of the recent things that I did, I went on holiday. I went on holiday to Lincolnshire with my wife, and it was bloody lovely. Place that we stayed at was a cottage, recently done out, really, really nice, very, very cheap too. Considering as well, I don't want to tell them this, and that's why I'm not going to put the link in the description because quite frankly, I want to keep the place cheap. But it had a hot tub and it was so beautiful, so beautiful for a full week for like less than 400 quid in the UK. Brilliant. Couldn't fault it. And it was just such a nice, relaxed, chilled holiday. My wife, bless her, managed to do something to her toe. So she was kind of hobbling around the first couple of days. But once we got through that, or once she got through that, because it wasn't really my issue, I had to help her sometimes. I sometimes looked behind me to make sure she was still there. I'm joking. I'm joking. I made sure she was okay. And yeah, it was just really nice. And I guess because I know you guys are here to hear about the transgender stuff, I think the main thing for me that was kind of weird was almost like a gradual acceptance that things have gotten better or changed a little bit. And it's a funny one. It's a hard one for me to explain. I don't mean that things have gotten better in the sense of there's ever really been much of a problem with when I've been going outside. What I mean is that I've always been afraid when I go outside. I always have been right the way through. I've always been afraid of going outside. I can do it and I'll go to work and I've fully socially transitioned and all the rest of it and all kind of stuff, but I am flipping terrified the majority of the time because deep down inside I've internalized some kind of feeling of I must be doing something wrong. I must be doing something wrong by dressing this way, by looking this way, by presenting this way. I must be doing something wrong because for years I had to hide it. And it's such a hard thing to convince yourself that everything's okay and that everything's fine. And it's very difficult. And one of the things that I found when I was on holiday in Lincoln was that actually people don't see me that way for the most part. That voice that keeps saying everyone thinks you're a man, and some people probably do, and they can go fuck. I don't care. That that didn't really feel like it was happening that much when I was in Lincoln. It didn't. And it was just nice to be able to walk around and not feel like an animal in the zoo. And Lincoln's nowhere special, it's just another part in the UK. And quite frankly, I probably could have done that in Leicester. And everything would have been hunky dory. But it's convincing myself that everything's hunky dory is the problem, you know? Um, and yeah, it was just nice to be able to walk around and just not have to worry. And that's not me saying, "Oh my god, I'm 100% passable now" and all that kind of jazz. Because what the hell is passable? The hell is passable? Do you ever look around these days? What passes for male, female, non-binary? Where is this fucking blueprint? Where is it? I want to see it. I want to see this blueprint. What passes these days? This thing that we're trying to aspire to. The hell is it? I don't remember getting that in my trans welcome pack. This is what we are supposed to look like. It's our heads. It's our heads telling us what we're supposed to look like. It's the media to some extent. They screw everybody over. It's not just trans people, it's everybody. Have you ever really looked around? Does anyone really feel brilliant? Probably not. Probably not. But yeah, getting back to it. So when I was there, it was just nice because even when I was talking to people, they were still identifying me female, which is great. That's the whole idea. That's what I want. That's very gender affirming. I love that. That's brilliant. That's exactly what I want. And this is on me. It's not society's issue. This is on me. Often when I'm out, that always happens. People say, yeah, female, she, her, Rachel, blah blah blah. I've just never took the time to actually accept it before because I've always listened to the voice. I've always listened to the dysphoria, and I've always listened to that critic telling me that you're not good enough. You're not going to pass. Everyone's going to know. Even if you're at work, you're the resident trans person. Yay. Torturing myself. That's the God's honest truth. Torturing myself with it. Not society. It's not all of society that's got the problem. Some society does have a problem. There's other channels that cover those idiots. I guess what I'm saying is that for once I just felt like, actually, you know what? This isn't as bad as what that voice is making out. I can fight back against this. And there was a lovely moment, and someone asked on Twitter, lovely, 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 lovely person on Twitter, said recently, asked a question and said, "Oh, what was your most gender affirming moment recently?" And I thought about it, and I thought, you know what, actually, it was when I went for a meal with my wife. I went for a meal to Ask with my wife, Ask Italian, and it was so lovely. There was loads of fairy lights around the place, and it was by the water, and it was just so beautiful. It was just so nice. And there was lots of stimulus for me to look at. So, yay, great. And it was just lovely. And having the waitress come over and she was like, "Oh, ladies, can I take your order?" And I don't know, it just felt so good. It just felt so good. And I was on such a high after it. And we talk a lot about the things that really upset us, but gosh, I was happy that night. I was so happy because I'd allowed myself to accept that actually society don't see me the same way that that voice in my head sees me. It was bloody lovely. So good. I genuinely hope for people that haven't had that feeling yet that you get it. And when you get it, hold on to that feeling because it's such a nice feeling and it'll carry you through some really dark times, and it'll carry you through whenever someone's a dickhead. It'll carry you through whenever someone says something mean on the internet or in person or whatever. Hold on to that feeling, those gender euphoric feelings. Hold on to them because they mean the absolute world. And as long as you hold on to them, just you'll never lose it. You'll never lose it. Don't let anyone ever take it away from you. Okay? Such a good feeling. And yeah, my wife loved it as well, for what it's worth. I mean, Poor girl, she never gets a look into she. Who cares whether she liked it? I loved it, you know. um, at the time of my life. But yeah, she really enjoyed it too, so that was great. Yeah. So yeah, other than that, like I say, work, going on holiday, that's basically what's been going on at the minute. Um, and I want to try and keep doing these videos, you know, because there's always daft little things going on, stuff that I want to talk about, like little things that people don't tend to give credit to as little wins, as I like to call them, you know, like today I had to go get some passport photographs and I was genuinely nervous about going in and using the machine. And you know, that again, that little dysphoria voice going, oh, people are going to say a trans woman, oh, look at her, or look at him if they're a dickhead. Going in there, the vain bugger wanting to get photographs of themselves, and came out with all this lovely hoo-ha in my head. In reality, I just needed to send off for my driving license because the damn thing's about to expire. So I need to get my driving license sorted out, you know. And the photograph is like 10 years old, so I thought, well, they do say it needs to be an accurate representation of what you look like now, and I look a lot different to what I did 10 years ago. I'll let you imagine that. So yeah, little things like that. And I was able to do it. I got screwed over on my change mind, Tesco. I'm looking at you there. You know, put a sign up if your machine doesn't give change. Dicks. Why can't I leave things nice? So yeah, little things like that. Let's talk about it. I want to hear those daft little things that you've managed to do that you were worried about. That it was actually you got over it. You know, you were able to do it. Or if you weren't, let's talk about ways that we can try and get ourselves through it. You know, let's do that. But that's it. Yeah, hopefully post again in a couple of weeks' time. Don't want to do it all the time. If I did it all the time, you'd get bored. What are you going to keep coming here for? To listen to me rabbit on. If you're still listening to this now, I'll be amazed because I see the analytics. Most videos make it for about 3 minutes. So right about now, I could literally start reciting the German alphabet, and I am pretty confident most people aren't going to hear it. Meh. Do this for my benefit. I'm joking. It's entirely for my benefit. So yeah, thanks everyone. Cringe moment. Like, comment, and subscribe. Only another 9,600 subscribers. And then I can quit my job, put my feet up, and go, yeah, I made it. I'm a YouTuber. Yeah. All the best, people. Take care. Bye.